It's been only a few days since Trump won the election and the GOP gained seats in both the Senate and the House, finally giving us the red wave that the media was afraid of. You would think that the sky is falling, and perhaps for them it is, because now Trump has given them all something else to worry about as he released a video statement outlining the 10 ways that he is coming for the deep state and will protect free speech. And bureaucrats in the media are panicking. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Trump actually released this 10-point deep state plan back in March 2023 and his free speech plan back in December, while the media claimed that he had no real policy plans, and it was kept mostly quiet for that reason. But it is getting attention again now that, obviously, he won and delivered the points of his deep state plan in a video message on Friday. And it's pretty good. Notably, government actors and the journalists in their pockets are shaking in their boots. CNN anchors have been talking about a mass exodus of journalists from DC. The lifelong congressmen who never held another job a day in their lives are also getting nervous, as Trump announced term limits on Congress as part of his plan. Basically, everyone's got their little pink lacy panties all up in a twist. Trump said in the video message that his goal is to end the weaponization of government against the American people, a pretty lofty goal. I'll be real with you, I don't think he'll be able to accomplish it all in 4 years, but honestly, any dent in it is sure to help. So let's check out his plans. First, Trump pledged on day one to reissue his 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to fire rogue bureaucrats. Now, this executive order, which had been struck back down by Biden, laid out the ability for the president to get rid of, quote, career employees who do not meet the required performance standards. Government workers are notoriously terrible workers, and having spent some time working with the Department of Mental Health, I can personally attest to that. I'm talking people fudging medical records, lying about billing hours to Medicare, spending their days on eBay or booking cruises instead of seeing patients, even one man breaking the cardinal ethical and legal rule of not having relations with your patients. And no one was able to fire them because of the government red tape. They just kept them on the payroll for years. Your taxes, ladies and gentlemen, and I am sure that at the federal level, things are even worse. Now, of course, this could totally be used later by the next president to oust political enemies and be very bad. And the media is all over this, calling it McCarthyism or warning that Trump is reviving Cold War-era policies of terror. But the ability to fire people who are not performing their duties, I don't think is a bad thing. The Washington Post and other outlets warn that he will be ousting nonpartisan workers to install a MAGA regime and destroy the government from the inside out by cutting 100,000 federal jobs, to which I say, burn, baby, burn. Government jobs have made up more than 60% of the tax-paying workforce for years, and there is no reason for it to be that bloated. None at all. If he doesn't replace every person he fires, I would be thrilled. Do it. Now, before I tell you about his other points and his free speech plan, this video is brought to you by Home Title Lock. When it comes to security, most homeowners think about security measures like video cameras, security alarms, and deadbolt locks to keep their property safe. But what they don't think about is protecting their homes in the digital space. I just learned about a seriously terrifying new scam that literally allows people to steal your home from you without ever stepping foot inside it. The FBI calls this scam house stealing, where scammers can access your home's equity by filing fraudulent documents with the county, transferring ownership of your property without you even knowing. And how easy it is really disturbing. So because property records are public records, anyone can access your information. All they need to do is look up your information, get a notary stamp off Amazon, and fill out your county form. Like, literally, I looked it up. The forms are free online, and a stamp is about $25. The scariest part is that you probably won't find out until unpaid loan bills or foreclosure notices start arriving in your mailbox. And at that point, it is too late. The damage has been done and you are left with a legal and financial nightmare to deal with. The best thing that you can do for your personal security is to make sure that your most valuable asset is secure in every way. And that is why I protect my home with Home Title Lock, and you should too. Home Title Lock monitors your property records, alerts you of any changes, and if you are a victim, jumps in with their team of restoration experts to resolve it for you. And right now, you can get a 30-day free trial of their triple lock protection and a complimentary title history report by going to HometitleLock.com and using promo code LD30 or clicking on my link down in the description. Again, that is HometitleLock.com, promo code LD30, or my link down there to protect yourself and your home. Now let's get back to his plan. 2. Overhaul federal departments and agencies, firing all of the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus. Which we now know from many whistleblowers that there's a lot of them. It might even be all of them. And I don't see the problem with disbanding entire alphabet agencies, or at least big chunks of them. 3. Fundamentally reform the FISA courts, ensuring that corruption is rooted out. This should have been done ages ago. The Patriot Act expanded this court and warrant system to include everyday Americans, which never ever should have happened. These courts are notoriously corrupt, have been used to suppress due process and the Fourth Amendment rights of American citizens. So I would be very curious to see what these potential reforms are, and quite frankly, as being part of the Patriot Act, which the left roared about when it happened, why didn't they ever do this? 4. Establish a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to declassify and publish all documents on deep state spying, censorship, and abuses of power. I would be willing to bet that Trump would face some more threats to his life over this, and if he's able to accomplish it, I hope that people will care more than they did about the NSA stuff that everyone just eventually forgot about. 5. Launch a major crackdown on government leakers who collude with the media to create false narratives, pressing criminal charges when appropriate. Now this one, I am a little hesitant on. People who are acting maliciously is one thing, and purposely manipulating the public, terrible, awful. It has ruined journalism. But I could also see how this could be used against valid whistleblowers, and we need whistleblowers to try and hold government accountable. Sure, there are laws that are supposed to protect whistleblowers, but as we know, that's not always how things happen in practice. Especially when sometimes they wind up dead. 6. Make every Inspector General's office independent from the departments they oversee so that they do not become protectors of the deep state. Absolutely. It is ridiculous that any department of anything would be able to investigate itself and be the deciding factor on whether or not that same department did any wrongdoing. I'm pretty sure that is like rubber stamped in the definition of corruption. 7. Establish an independent auditing system to continually monitor our intelligence agencies to ensure that they are not spying on our citizens or running disinformation campaigns against the American people. I feel like this one will get fought tooth and nail for obvious reasons. 8. Continue Trump administration effort to move parts of the federal bureaucracy outside of the Washington swamp, just like President Trump moved the Bureau of Land Management to Colorado. Now, with this allegedly up to 100,000 government positions could be moved out of Washington, I would hope that some of these positions could also be cut. Where these government agencies reside doesn't really matter to me. I just think that most of them honestly shouldn't exist. 9. Ban federal bureaucrats from taking jobs at the companies they deal with and regulate, such as Big Pharma. This would not end conflicts of interest, but it would sure help. And 10, push for a constitutional amendment to impose term limits on members of Congress. Yes, yes, a million times yes, shut up and take my money. Now, a lot of these points also kind of overlap with his free speech plan, which would ban federal agencies from colluding to censor Americans, ban taxpayer dollars from being used to label speech as mis- or disinformation, immediately send letters to preserve records for investigations and then prosecute any crimes found through these investigations, create a digital bill of rights, and prevent government officials from working in big tech for 7 years. Basically, it looks like a plan to try to prevent government from colluding with big tech and social media again to interfere in elections, keep information away from the people, or using them to shape public opinion or stop dangerous ideas from getting out, like we saw with the Hunter Biden laptop, COVID, lockdowns, mask mandates, the list could go on. Another recent example is YouTube blocking Trump's interview on Joe Rogan. It also mentions messing with Chapter 230 and the definitions of publisher versus platform. If Trump were actually able to get all of these things done, I don't know. I will believe it when I see it. I'll say that much. But we all know that the deep state is going to fight this tooth and nail. They are going to work to make sure that this doesn't happen, again, for obvious reasons. So this is very dangerous ground, quite frankly, but if anyone has the balls to do it, I would say that it is probably Donald Trump. Anyways, you guys know the drill for all of the algorithm things. Please do them. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe out there and happy shooting.